Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. That's something that I've always wanted to say. Hello there, my name is Dean Millard of Ultimate Fantasy Sports Network. Welcome to the Ultimate Fantasy Sports Twitch channel. We have something truly amazing to tell you about today. It is absolutely going to blow your mind. And I have two gentlemen joining me on this program who know much more about this. They will be able to inform everybody how cool this is. Bilal Kahn is one of our team coordinators and one of the gentlemen behind the idea of this. So very happy that we were able to connect with him. And Ross Mongrue is our designer extraordinaire. If you're familiar with UFFS, you have seen his work on many teams. You're going to see some of his work today. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today, where we're going to be able to tell the world about VR1 racing on this preview show. Bilal, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's not the most convenient time for you across the pond. It's great to have you on this show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I actually took a nap before I joined here just to make sure I'm completely energized for this chat.
I love it. And Ross, I know you're always up to talk racing of any kind.
That's it. You know me, man.
Yes, exactly. All right, so let's talk about VR1 racing. And Bilal, maybe give a short general overview of what VR1 racing is for those that are tuning in and wanting to learn about this amazing project.
So what we're creating here is a sim racing league, and the idea behind this is I actually play video games like Assetto Corsa Competizione, a bit of Forza as well. And the one thing that I notice is the cars, the in-game cars, are basically marketing materials. They're completely stock full of sponsors like Michelin, Pirelli, various other brands are just, they're paying to have their logo, their brand on these cars. And this is where I saw an opportunity for the crypto community. Why can't we have a car or have cars with crypto brands and crypto projects? And so this is where the idea took off. And then from there, we've decided, let's make a professional sim racing league for crypto projects. This is catering crypto projects and not the current sim racing community. So we're targeting an entirely new audience. What we're doing is we're introducing crypto investors, crypto holders to sim racing, and we're showing them what can be done in terms of marketing and brand exposure.
Well, and for those who don't know, Bilal, just how popular is sim racing right now? I mean, the setups are amazing.
So racing games are actually immensely popular, and it's actually a growing market. You can play racing games on your mobile phone, so on an Android or on an iPhone. You can play racing games on a PlayStation. Some of the biggest titles out there are Forza and Gran Turismo. And you can also play racing games on a PC, and the platform that we're going to be using is a PC, and it is a very big market, but it's not as big as crypto. Crypto is much bigger than sim racing, and this is where we saw the opportunity. What we're going to do for sim racing is huge. The audience is in crypto, and we're going to introduce them to sim racing. And doing the research that I did, the market cap of sim racing is so the market cap of crypto is about 250 times larger than the market cap of sim racing. So 250 times bigger the market here is, and we're going to introduce this audience to sim racing, and many of which don't actually play video games, but we're going to show them this. The picture that you're seeing right now of the free agent car, we're going to show them this. Some people actually thought this was a real car. So yeah, we're going to wow them, we're going to amaze them, and they're going to get blown away when they see their project on a car in a virtual game.
Yeah, I mean, the setup, like I've watched some of these races. I mean, there are actual drivers that use this sim. I mean, the setup, what we're looking at, the setup for the drivers, like this is as realistic as it gets. And we'll bring Ross in a second about some of the design. But Bilal, these guys, they are, as close to the real drivers, and some of them are real drivers.
Yep. So real racing drivers actually practice on a simulator, and the reason for that is pretty simple. It's just accessibility. It's efficient. It's more affordable. If you want to race on a real racetrack, there's a lot of overheads. If you want to race virtually, all you need is a computer or a game console to play the game, a copy of the game, and then ideally you do need a steering wheel. But most games do support a controller if you just don't happen to have one. But yeah, it's a hyper realistic, and some simulation games are more realistic than others. ACC is one of the most realistic. It's got one of the most advanced physics engines in sim racing, and this is one of the reasons why we're choosing this title to play on.
In college, and there was basically a place where we would go, and they had these huge NASCAR mock-ups. Like, you would actually get in the car, there'd be huge screens in front of you, and you would do races every Tuesday night. And we had such a great time doing that growing up. And now seeing that people are actually putting these things in their homes, maybe not so much on a grand scale of it, you're not actually getting into a car, but you are seeing with some of these sim setups to where you're sitting and it's actually moving with the game and giving you a realistic kind of reaction every time you hit a bump, every time you slide out, anything, hit a wall even. But it's crazy, and I just learned actually that the FIA this year dropped Gran Turismo. And for people who don't know too much about kind of gaming and racing video games as they come, Gran Turismo is one of the oldest ones there is. It started in, I believe, in 1997, and now the FIA for their esports tournaments have dropped Gran Turismo and picking up what you're looking at, which is ACC. And I mean, it seems like it's a match made in heaven, especially with us coming in at the time that we are.
Yeah, I totally think so, and we have to thank our man Bilal for coming to us, and you mentioned about what the crypto space is going to do. Can we get into this and just we've talked about sim racing, how popular it is, how accurate it is, so it's as close as you can get. What do you think adding the crypto space is going to do to this project and to sim racing in general?
So it's basically going to blow this space up. As I was saying earlier, I'm really excited about this because the crypto community, I'm involved in various projects. I'm in their Telegram communities as well. They are so much more active and community focused than from what I've noticed is going on in the sim racing forums. If you join some of these big crypto communities, right, on Telegram, people talking every few seconds, someone's asking a question, someone is making a meme, telling a joke, just so much activity, and just it's very talkative, it's very chatty in these groups. And the thing that I noticed is when you get involved in these projects, they're asking their community, look, we need ideas. How do we get our community more involved? How do we market our project? We need ideas, and they are looking for ideas. They're looking for unique ideas to get everyone excited. And I've actually had the pleasure of talking to a few projects about what we're doing. And what I've noticed is when I tell them this is what we're doing, I show them a few pictures of the car, I have their full attention, and they're like, what are you doing here? Even the crypto projects or the lead developers that don't play video games, it has their attention. And one of the developers is at home. We were talking to him, and he went at home, and so we were talking to him. And after we pitched out our prospect, he decided he's gonna go home, buy a steering wheel, buy a copy of the game, and just learn how to play it because he was really excited to see his project, a project that he's probably spent hundreds and hundreds of hours on a car. Something, if we were to do this in the real world, it will cost tens or maybe hundreds of thousands of pounds. But in the sim racing world, in the virtual world, we can do this for just a few pounds. Literally, it is so affordable and very, very accessible for the biggest projects out there, and even the smallest ones.
Yeah, this is so awesome. And I totally agree. Like I say to Ross the other day, I'm like, do I need a steering wheel? Can I play this? Like, how do I get in? I was getting so excited because, as I mentioned, the games I played growing up, not even at remotely on this level. It was A button, B button when I grew up, right?
Right.
That's basically what we did. So we know that Ultimate Franchise Fantasy Sports is very excited, and we're involved in the project. Can you tell us a little bit about who will be involved in the project, and for organizations, companies, associations, how can they get involved, Bilal? What's the steps for people, and can you share with us some of the people that are involved?
So some of the people that are involved is UFF Sports and Kudos. There are other parties that are involved, but they're not ready to go public with this just yet at this moment, because they're worried that if we go public, there's going to be chaos, there's going to be too many questions. They want us to have everything sorted in our end. This means the website and all the documentations, all the rules and terms and conditions before they go public. But the one thing that I can say is what we've noticed is we're not at a stage where we're fumbling for participants. What we've realized is, based on our previous discussions that we've had with some of our interested parties, is once we tell them what we're doing, they spread the message for us. They talk to their partners, and then they talk to their partners. So if we find one participant, they're going to start shilling this to their community, and then we're going to have more people, we're going to have more interest, and this is just selling itself. So we're not focused on finding people.
Yeah, it's word of mouth, and it's spreading on its own. It's sort of or spreading organically in that way because of the excitement that it's generating. That's how I've seen it so far.
Yeah, so
100%.
how we did this, how we generated this level of interest it was quite simple. All we did was we made a car, we put their brand on it, and Ross was the one that designed this. And then we just showed it to them that this is a concept, an icon car. Imagine what your community can do if they had free reign over the design process. Imagine what you can do with this car and what you can do for your brand.
100%. That is amazing. All right, Ross, I want to bring you into the conversation because, as Bilal said, that car you're looking at, you did a lot of work on. So tell me a little bit about some of the designs. How you're pretty skilled in this. There's a lot of people that are skilled out there as well. For people that have experience, first of all, is this a tough thing to do?
It can be. I would say it's definitely like somebody coming in off the street, and it would take some time if you're willing to put in the work and kind of, research, because a big component to this is, for me, is Photoshop and being able to use and navigate Photoshop. But also, Bilal here has introduced me to a new kind of editing software that's called GIMP, and it's a totally free software that you can use. And I went through it, and he asked me to kind of put together a tutorial on designing these cars, and if I can do it with using the free software, so that people who don't want to pay the $30 a month to use the Adobe product, you're fine. You'll be able to get through it. But as far as like once you get the hang of it, like that first car might be a little daunting to take on, but your first one's gonna be hard. Your second one will be a breeze. Once you realize, you'll come up with your own tricks and trade of it. As you can see there, you've got your wireframes, and we offer all of those are going to be on our website as well. And it's just placement and making sure you're not outside of the lines, and making sure everything sizes right and fits into place. And then it's all about importing it into the game and seeing how your design came out,
It's kind of like a little bit like, trial and error to see what you like and what works, and, what you want might not be what somebody else wants, but that's where you can get real personal and creative with this.
100%, and that just brings into it even more, because the communities that can put out these designs, and they could have contests in their own communities to who's going to be putting together the best design for their car when on race day, you know, and it's endless, you know. It's a lot of it's so much community involvement, you know.
So the program that you were talking about, is it fairly similar? Would people that maybe have some experience, but you know, be able to pick it up fairly easily?
I think so. Yes, I was able to pick it up pretty easily, but of course, you know, you always go back to what you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't hard if you have any kind of history with Photoshop. I definitely can say that, yeah, you'll pick it up no problem.
The one thing I find with a lot of these programs is they're, you know, the concept is fairly similar, maybe some of the details. So you can, if you kind of learn one, you can navigate around the other one. And, you know, we're seeing you put on some numbers and decals. What is the detail process like? How detailed can you get with this design? Is it really like the world is your oyster?
100%. And the more time you put into it, the better it's going to look. You know, with our first car that, you know, Bilal came to me and asked me to put a car together, and I put a car together, and it was relatively quick, and I sent it to him. He put it in the game. He's like, man, it looks awesome. And I'm looking at these pictures he's sending me, and my OCD kicks in, and I'm like, well, wait, that line's not matching up. And he starts laughing, and he's like, oh, I can see where this is going. And so, you know, it took me a while to kind of just you mess with it, you put it in the game, you see how it looks, you go back to it, you make the changes you need, and it's kind of just rinse and repeat, you know?
So what's the process that you're doing here? Is this just matching up different colors?
I right here, I'm literally just looking at it to think like, all right, do I want this car one color? Because for the free agent showcase, I was just like, we need a basic car. You know, we just want to get our logo on a car for people to drive. And I'm looking at these parts on squares or rectangles and just trying to get them like, well, where would they look good? And, you know, eventually I think I went away from this look and went to more of a wrap look. Mm-hmm. And it worked out in the end.
Bilal, this is important for people to see this, because this is what you are going to want people to do, is design their own cars. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that's stage one. Before the tournament even happens, we're gonna give people time, maybe a month, maybe 5 weeks, for all the projects that have expressed interest to get their communities together to design cars.
I think that's really cool, and another way of community engagement and spreading the word, and a different way. A lot of places you just sign up, pick your car. No, here you're literally building your car's design.
Yeah, that's actually a very important point, and that's actually one of our unique selling points, basically. And what some of our competitors are doing is, A, they're not targeting the crypto community, and B, mm-hmm. they're not giving their community free reign over the car design. They're pretty much just providing them with a car with sponsors on it and saying, use this, use this.
Yeah.
The other thing that I've noticed some projects do as well, is they basically say, look, we will pay you if you drive this car because this car has our brand on it. We're saying no to all of that. Just design your own car, do what you want with it. And we will offer sponsors as well if you can, or you can sign up sponsors and sponsorship privately.
That's the beautiful thing. You can find your own, you can sponsor your own car. I mean, I've got a hockey franchise in UFFS. I'd love to get a Duckman's Domination car out on the track or something. There's just so many different levels that you can really go at this. And Ross, when it comes to the design, I think this is what you ended up. So tell us a little bit about what's going on here with this wrap.
So basically, I'm just taking a large abstract image, and basically I'm deciding what parts I want this image on the car, and I think what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna stretch it over a huge portion of the car, and then literally what I'm gonna do is take it, stretch it out, and then I'll make it disappear to where I can't see it. And what I'll do is I'll take the pen tool and actually cut out everything that I want in that wrap. And so it'll actually, not every part. So if I just put it like that and stuck it on right there, it would cover up a lot of things, and it might be putting that wrap on something that I don't want it on. So what I'll do is I'll go down there, So that's basically what it looks like after I cut it out. So it didn't actually show me cutting it out, but when I throw the wireframe back over it, you can see what parts of the car are actually getting this wrap on it.
That's wild. It's and then we can go back and show the finished product. You can see that wrap there at the back, right? That's what you were doing?
Right.
Wow. It's so amazing. You know what this when I look at kind of this, it reminds me of like the model cars. You remember, when you were a kid, they would come all kind of put together like in one piece, and then you broke them apart and you put together model cars. I mean, this is that on a way bigger, massive, amazing level that you then get to see in incredible graphics. I mean, this is awesome.
And you don't have to huff the glue.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to get it all stuck to your hands and things like that.
Right. Your fingers aren't all stuck together.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly. Bilal, this is obviously a crypto-based project. So what do crypto companies and crypto-based organizations, what do they get out of this?
They basically get marketing, brand exposure, and leverage marketing as well. So one of the things that we've noticed in the crypto space is we see adverts on banner adverts on websites. We see YouTubers as well and posting about their project, about whatever they're being paid to talk about. But what we've noticed is this is something that I noticed as well, actually. I briefly told my mom about crypto, and then the one thing that my mom looked it on her, she basically searched up crypto on her phone, and then what she started noticing was she started getting a lot of targeted adverts on crypto projects on her Google feeds, on her Google News. When she would visit websites, she would get banner adverts on crypto projects, and she will never in a million years invest in any of those projects. So whoever the marketing agency is, they're paying for my mom to see these adverts that she's just going to dismiss. She's not going to invest in. She has no interest in. So we saw an opportunity here. Instead of targeting, like the masses, why can't we just focus on the audience that's already exposed to cryptocurrencies? And that's where this crypto-focused sim racing league came into development.
Well, and it's literally, pardon the pun, a terrific vehicle for promotion, because the races that we're going to be putting on, the leagues that we're going to have, this is going to be high end to the T. I mean, I've watched some of these sim things. It's hard to tell what is the real race, what is the sim, and that's the beautiful thing about video games and technology. But the leagues, the opportunity for people to get exposure in this is going to really, really take off. I cannot wait to see some of the stuff that we're going to be putting out, and to see logos of familiar names that we know that are huge in the crypto community beyond these cars. It's going to be amazing. How can people follow along? What is the best way? Right now, I believe we'll just go to UFFsports.com, but this is going to be an opportunity to be a fan, to possibly participate as a driver. How can people get involved? What's the best way? Bilal?
So if someone wants to become a driver in, for one of these projects, we're going to have an application form on our website. There they can assign their role. I want to apply to be a driver for Bitcoin, or for the Ethereum car, or for the UFFS car, or for the Kudos car, and various other projects that we have on board. If they want to be a driver, same procedure. If they want to be in charge of marketing for that car or the pit crew, it's the same procedure. In terms of who's going to be the driver, again, the crypto projects, they can decide who they want as their driver. So if they want to enlist a driver within their community, they can do that. If they want to hire out a professional sim racer, they can do that. We're not going to be like enforcing any rules or any regulations with who they can hire, basically, who they can assign as their team driver. And in terms of projects, if there's a project out there that's not currently participating in this event, they can go on our website and just fill in a quick form, and then we will get back to them after we've approved their application, and then we'll send out the materials, and they can proceed with the car design competition. And so one thing that's quite important to mention here is one of the reasons why crypto projects are very interested in this is to design a car is free. They don't need to pay us any money to design a car. It's basically free. We will give them the resources, give them the tutorials and the guidance for them to deliver this to their community and have their community design them a car. One incentive that we are pushing for is crypto projects to basically award prizes for the best designs, just to help encourage the community to be creative and design well-made cars.
Wow, I think this is an absolute winner. I can't wait to watch the racing action. You know, I know we've been talking to some pretty cool people in the racing world. I know people are really excited about this behind the scenes. Ross, do you have any final words of why somebody should get involved in any kind of way in this project?
Oh, 100%. When you think about it, you know, everyone that's involved with video games in general, a lot of them have done these online leagues and have done these online season-long types of races, and they've done it just because they love to do it. Now you can come and do that if you're involved in one of these crypto spaces and have a purpose and have a goal in mind, you know. And when it comes time to us to start running a league, you know, it's gonna be something like, you know, you see in an F1 long season. You know, you're gonna have maybe even a 20 car grid, and each car is gonna have its own crypto project sponsorship, their own driver that they provided. You know, we're gonna make that person hopefully a sim racing celebrity. You know, that's the dream, right? So, you know, and with UFF Sports, that's what we always try and do. We try and do everything at the highest caliber that we can with all of our leagues. And, you know, and if you are watching this and, you know, and this is your first time, you know, hearing about UFF Sports, I implore you to go check out the website, read about our leagues, and if any type of fantasy sports that you're crazy about or a guru of, you will love everything UFF Sports.
Bilal, any final words?
Yeah, look, if for the listeners out there, you know, if this interests you, then just share this out to the projects that you're invested in. Tell them what's happening and just tell them get involved. Yeah, so just promote, you know, tell the projects you're invested in that, look, there's an opportunity here to promote your project, promote your token to an audience that is already exposed to cryptocurrencies, not to, you know, yeah, so it's a very targeted and leveraged marketing opportunity that's going to blow up 100%.
Yeah, and it's very popular already. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. We'll have more details as we go. Check them out at uffsports.com. Goodbye.